Here you go, honey. Made you a couple extra copies just in case.
Yes, yeah. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
You guys are rolling in deep today.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I knew they had something big on it, but what? Ready to go.
He's cracking that whip. He's like, come on, let's go.
I've never been around there, he's the boss. He's dangerous.
How's Pinellas CoC this morning? What? How's Pinellas CoC doing?
Good, everybody got in today.
Oh, that's great.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
they all
guests
left
and
the
then
last
there's
couple days.
member
I know,
signers.
right?
If everybody could sign in whenever possible, whenever
We're
we have
signing
guests.
again?
If you don't have to sign in again if you already did.
No, I'm gonna be signing up.
Yep, you have to sign in again for this meeting, just so I can keep track of everything.
Yes,
Okay.
Something.
These blue ones are weird. We won't use these dark blue ones. That's my personal observation. At least they don't have armrests, right, gentlemen?
Yeah, you can't do
That's the
that.
most important.
Good.
Elizabeth, if you want to sit here and then I'll sit next to Dominique.
One of these days.
No, they're inside the.
Yeah, same style. But we have a bunch of friends in here from like nowhere.
But how do you forget?
We have.
I don't understand.
You don't have to touch all this.
First thing.
My husband found something he likes here now too, so we've gone, or whatever, they're just.
Out of that series. They'll come when they don't do it.
Out of this here. What is something you're never gonna see for anyone else?
No.
Something about it's never gonna improve.
I'm like, did you do property taxes? I think you have to. But
That's fair. You can gotta do nothing. You can say, I'm not gonna do it for you, what are you gonna do? And you're gonna come with me.
oh, I find
That's exactly what you can.
when you have to, like 40.
Good morning.
Today I was saying, I don't even get all.
He gonna kick you out.
289, but it was.
All right. We can add it.
I was gonna say we might need to add an extra.
But they have.
Anybody here?
Out of control. They're gonna test them.
Oh, first off, south. So
That's what I think it will be.
I did call her non-emergency about it. But somebody, she got something together. She was actually.
She just made a moment.
No, the other one.
Other one,
Like,
nine.
yeah,
Not for 8,
9:30.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, little street over, like right where, Fabrica Pizza is. So like 7th and First South. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with that.
All right, well, welcome everyone. The time is 9:31, so for the sake of time, everyone's time, we'll just go ahead and get started. We do have a pretty jam-packed agenda today, so I want to try and do introductions because I do see some new people. I also want to capture whoever is online, so if you are with us online, please put your name, agency, and email in the chat just in case you're new, so we have it. And then I'll go first, and we'll make our way around the table pretty quick. Dominique Rando with Pinellas County Human Services. I have been the chair the past few years for this committee.
I'm Alex Strider, Director of Program Services at the Homeless Leadership Alliance of Pinellas. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, I'm Claire, Case Manager with Catholic Charities.
April White, City of St. Pete.
Jesus Nunez, PCSO, Safe Harbor.
Deputy Jeff Nelson, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Safe Harbor.
Deputy Chris Jacobs, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Safe Harbor.
Kathleen Buckman, COC member.
Caitlin Harris, City of St. Pete's Free Outreach.
Chuck Deach, Ready for Life.
Tony Salgado, HLA.
Mimi Koto, HLA Administrative Coordinator.
Sarah Hernandez, Metropolitan Ministries.
Don Ziegler, St. Petersburg Police Department, Pathfinder.
Elizabeth Shelby, Special Initiatives Manager, HLA. Shanice Reed, Social Services Specialist with the City of St. Pete.
All right. Thank you. I heard the chat ding. We do have Mimi watching our chat throughout the meeting, but please feel free to unmute. We have a slide deck of the agenda, but everyone should have received it via email. So let's get started. Okay. All right, so like I said, we have a pretty slam-packed agenda. We wanted to do an extremely brief overview of what the committee is. I think almost everyone is a returner, at least within the room, with the exception of Elizabeth. I'm going to put you on the spot. So actually, I will turn it over to you. And then
Thank you.
Overview and introduction.
Appreciate it. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you again. I'm Alex Strider, the Director of Program Services at HLA. And as some of you may know, TB left HLA over the summer, but we have a new Special Initiatives Manager. Her name is Elizabeth. So we're really excited to have her on board. And she just started last week. And this is her first PIT meeting, so we're excited to have her.
I'll say also, many of you cross over and other things. Her role will also include cold night sheltering, so you'll get very familiar with her over the next few months. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Good to have her.
I hear new people being added to the meeting. Just make sure you introduce yourself with name, agency, and email, please, so we have that for attendance purposes.
And then for the next agenda item, we have HLA and our role. And Sherry, I saw, was on the meeting. She is our CEO, and she'll briefly talk about HLA's role.
Good morning. I wish I could be there in person. It's been a really wild time after review and rank, and I know, is everyone able to hear me first off? Yes, okay, good. And I know that Dominique was one of the reviewers and committee members for that too. I hope you've been able to recover. It was a pretty intense week. And Arrow, do I see her? Yes. So thank you so much. Anyway, I cannot believe it's already August. We are still working with Freeman on the PIT report. As you know, that comes out every year, and it's going to be in front of the COC board in September. And after that, we are going to be beefing up, compared to last year, the media campaigns that we have. And so one of HLA's responsibilities is to be a face, along with COC leadership, to go out and speak to the jurisdiction, city councils, and that was done last year to share around PIT. And we also coupled that with what was happening with the NOFO that was going on during the same time. I don't know if any of you remember all of that, but it was it's been a year for sure. what we'd like to do, or what I want to do, of course, is because we are going through this process right now for the NOFO, so that should make this a better time over the fall, knock on wood, then including more media involvement and campaigns. So that's on the agenda for sure. Other things that the HLA does, as the lead agency, and we went through the strategic planning work group in that process. We brought in a facilitator who was an expert in that area, who has worked with other COCs across the state of Florida. And something that came up was often was, what is the role of the HLA as lead agency? And I want to just state that is in the MOU, and within that MOU, it is not like a contract. It's not like an agreement with your lawn service person. It's not like your housekeeper. It's a relationship. That's a MOU. And so there's responsibilities for the HLA. There are responsibilities for the COC. There are areas that we are resources to each other. And so our role is detailed in there. And one of them is that we ensure that we are in HUD compliance whenever, for all things COC related, and that includes PIT. And so behind the scenes, you'll see, I'm looking at Tony right now. That's where the camera's going. HMIS, Tony, and the rest of HMIS, but in particular, Tony is very deeply involved, deduplicating data, making sure that, if someone took more than one survey, there's a lot of detective work that is involved in the background there. He works with the PIT researcher. We meet just about weekly with the PIT researcher to go over. That is something that's not a HUD requirement. It's something that is unique to Pinellas County. That report is majority funded by JWB, and so we can thank them for having that available to everyone. They also submit all that data after it's been cleaned and compiled to HUD and DCF, that's the state. And there's a lot of back and forth with HUD on questions around methodology, why certain numbers would change, why any changes that were made year to year, anything that they flag and note, not red flag like it's a problem, but if there is a question. So there's a lot of back and forth until it is just right, and then it's all submitted. That, of course, those reports were submitted along with the HIC report, the homeless inventory count, housing inventory count. Other areas that the HLA supports is making sure that materials that we post on social media, that we have materials, that we provide that staff support, and for documents that can go out or information. And and we as lead agency, we provide coordination, we provide like I said, staffing support, technical assistance on anything that HUD requires. We record the minutes. And so there's some administrative support. You see Mimi Kodo at the laptop right now. And we assist the chair with developing agendas. What I want to ground us in is that this committee has a charter. And so I think it's really important to go through that at some time. Just do a quick review of it when you can. And it's pretty brief. It talks about who can be a member, but in the very beginning, it talks about what are the responsibilities, what is the purpose of the committee. And it specifically states this committee is responsible for designing and executing the annual PIT count. It also assigns responsibilities such as recruiting and training volunteers, engaging sponsors and fundraising for incentives, marketing the PIT count, evaluating results, and recommending improvements for the future. I added for the future. The other parts, those were direct quotes. HLA is here to support all of that. And so I know that this becomes a lot of work, and there are a lot of subcommittees. If we look at what the actual, having a working committee is so important to make this successful. And so what I would recommend is, if there have been years and years and years of development of marketing material, of the survey. So like when the survey committee gets together, if is it really necessary to add one more question? Is something to ask yourself. Is it really what is needed to make this a successful pit? And that's kind of where I want to leave it at. But we are here to support and help coordinate the process and make sure that it does go smoothly and to respond to any needs that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. And just very briefly, since I think most of us are familiar with the pit count, it is in our agenda fully written out, but it is a snapshot of homelessness in Pinellas County on any given day in January. It doesn't tell the full picture of homelessness, but it is a snapshot that we're able to compare year over year. It is HUD mandated. All COCs, continuums of cares, are required to complete the pit. It is required every 2 years. We, in our community, do the unsheltered count and sheltered count every single year. It is an annual event that takes place in the last 10 days of January. We typically do it the last Thursday of January in Pinellas County. And the purpose is to submit the data to HUD and DCF that is then used to guide funding decisions, planning, support resource allocation, and strengthen our advocacy efforts. And then the PIT report, as Sherry mentioned, is being worked on now, so we don't have the full report yet, but that will be presented at the COC board meeting on September 4th. So we'll hope to get that data and the report, of course, to all of you very soon. And then this is the kind of snapshot of the 2026 point in time count that took place at the end of January. The total sheltered count was 1,314. That is a decrease of 11 from 2025. And then the total unsheltered was 635, and that was an increase of 97 from 2025. And as it says here, the final PIT report will be presented during the September board meeting. One thing to note, we did have cold night shelter activation the night before point in time count. So a lot of people really made a huge effort to get there first thing in the morning to get surveys done at the cold night shelter sites. So that could have had an impact on our PIT report and count overall.
Yeah, also last year actually was a drop of about 100, maybe, Tony, which I almost thought. So it like dipped and went right back up. So it does seem like a significant increase, but with contextually, maybe not.
Right. I would say recently we've actually seen a downtrend. We had one year that was kind of big, which was 2024, where we actually had 721 total interviews done, and then that trend went back down again last year. We did see it come back up again, which is interesting because we had been seeing that downward trend. However, I think maybe the methodology was a little bit different last year, considering that we did have cold night shelters, so we were able to capture a lot of what we consider, you know, a captured audience kind of deal, to where we could actually go there. I would also say that I think that we probably had a little bit better prepared volunteers because we had less surveys that we had to get rid of. So as far as you know, not enough information in the survey, or you know, the survey got cut off or whatever, that didn't happen as much this year as it did in years past. So that may be a sign that that training was a little more thorough. Our volunteers were a little more experienced, and were able to get a few more surveys completed than we normally would see, because we just had less to remove, so it's good.
And so the full presentation will be presented by Dr. Freeman Gerhardt, who may be online with us Friday the 4th, September 4th. And that's also a recorded session, so you guys can watch that. Hopefully they will approve it, and it will come out for public view immediately following, but sometimes it doesn't.
Can I ask a clarifying question? I'm sorry if you mentioned this and I missed it, but are we saying 1,300 were surveyed that were in shelter, or what does that number say?
So the sheltered count is actually just the bed census. So they take HMIS data for everyone who is in shelter that night.
Okay.
So the questions don't jive, obviously, because it's not the actual full survey.
Got it.
And that would be emergency shelter, safe haven, and transitional.
That's correct.
Put that out of order, but.
Yeah. It does include rapid rehousing, permanent supportive housing, and permanent housing. However, that is not part of this report.
All right, so just a reminder, end of last season, we did identify some champions, so considerations for this year, whether we keep as many or reduce them. So we want to thank everyone that has been a part of this. Most of you, again, have been a part of this for at least last year, if not multiple years. So thank you for that. And, all right, so now we're going to move into some action steps. We want to set up a meeting cadence as well as confirm our leadership, who the members are, as well as participants. So that's what we're going to move through next. And we're a little ahead of schedule, awesome. That's one part that I'm worried about. All right. So the cadence that we've been meeting is first Monday of every month leading up to the event, hybrid, this location. We are recommending keeping that same cadence except for the wrap-up meeting. If we move forward, which on another slide is the point in time date recommendation, it would literally be like 4 days before our wrap-up meeting. So we're recommending pushing that wrap-up meeting to, not meeting in February and pushing it out to the first Tuesday in March. So these would be the recommended dates. I think you already have the series on your calendar that matches this minus the March date. So if there's any discussion or objections.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes, Tuesday. I'm making sure you were listening. I apologize. Yes, Tuesday. First Tuesday of the month, 9:30. Any objections? Anyone, do we need to make a motion? Are we small enough to not make motions? Or?
There needs to be a motion.
There needs to be a motion.
I move we keep the schedule.
Okay, we keep the schedule and you're good with the wrap-up move? Yeah. Okay, great.
Can I get your name for the?
Sarah
Sarah?
Kane.
Okay, Sarah Kane.
Sarah Kane, anyone a second?
April White, second.
April White, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed?
Favor too.
Yeah, favor.
Favor.
Okay.
Okay. Are you opposing? Too late. All right. Seeing nothing in the chat, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Again, so we'll be meeting here first Tuesday of the month at 9:30. All right, so next I'm going to go into the timeline. And this is a very high-level timeline because there are a lot of subcommittees that we'll get into as well that are going to be working their own timelines. This event, and we'll get to that at the end. So kickoff meeting today, our intent after this is to confirm membership, which is why we're giving you kind of the schedule. Then we're going to give you the committees, all of that to try and make sure who's interested in continuing with us and being involved in our meetings as well as our subcommittees. Our goal today is to identify and confirm up that date for the 2027 point in time. Post-meeting, we would ask that you guys either identify someone maybe in your team or yourself that could have skills in our subcommittees, that has some time commitment to commit to those. Obviously, Sherry mentioned the NOFO really put a dent in some of our subcommittees last year with competing priorities like keeping people housed. So some of our subcommittees will need some more support for this coming year. So our goal is before September's meeting to shore up our subcommittees and begin recruitment if there's any additional partners missing from this meeting. So September, like we mentioned, the board presentation is on the 4th in the morning and hopefully finalizing the report. And subcommittees will start coordinating and working through their own agendas and timelines. October, we're going to have to start moving towards survey, fundraising, marketing strategies. That's one of the subcommittees that honestly probably needs the most support this year. It came up last year and it will be happening again where we need to raise around $10,000 would be that's mine.
We do have some leftover incentives from last year, some Winn-Dixie gift cards, a little over 4,000.
Okay, so at least 6,000 probably worth of fundraising that needs to happen.
When you say 4,000, are you saying 4,000 cards? or
$4,000. 830
Okay.
Winn-Dixie $5 gift cards, which are the incentives that we provided last year.
I know Winn-Dixie's not the favorite, so we'll try to be strategic about which communities get the Winn-Dixies and things like that.
Are we going after an alternative for the remaining 6 this year?
Yes.
Is that the plan? Okay.
Yeah, that would be the plan.
Okay.
I think the plan is go back and bus passes.
Yeah.
Kind of
That seems to
feedback
be a
from
more,
last year.
yeah.
But that can be part of the survey, you can find it. So October, November is starting to get that marketing and fundraising out. Our goal is to finalize the survey in November. One of the big Giving Days is Giving Tuesday. I think that raised about half the money that we were able to get last year. And so HLA will push that messaging out by making sure the marketing is done before that, as well as mid-November. Thank you, law enforcement, for showing up today. Getting started contacting the different agencies to make sure there's a commitment from all the agencies, and subcommittees will continue to meet. We'll translate the survey in Spanish. If anyone has a fluent speaker in Spanish, we do need people to help us translate. Feedback is that it was a little too, what's the word I'm looking for? That it wasn't like a native speaker.
It's too proper.
Yeah. Yeah, we've tried to engage them multiple years. So if anyone has a specific contact, yeah, especially, if we can get some fluent speakers to review, would be excellent if you know any.
Is it just like reviewing? Is it like they need to be on the committee? Is it, what's the commitment?
My recommendation, because I was over that subcommittee in the past, was that they would still participate so they understand like maybe the nuance of the language, right? But they basically they could take the current Spanish translation or start over again.
Okay.
Because there only should be very few question differences, and then translate it.
Okay.
So I think last year there were like 2-3 people, but really I think just one that did an update on it.
Okay.
So December is really when it becomes crunch time. So subcommittees are all pretty much going to be wrapped up by then. So November, early December, October, November, early December is really when most of the subcommittees are starting to work with their team. We're going to beta test the survey. We'll be needing beta testers. So again, maybe you have someone on your team who's done it before or who's a little bit more of a tech guru that wants to participate in that. Deployment zones are finalized. I'm hoping that we can get feedback from everybody on deployment zones. So again, it's kind of like who you know and how we can help spread that messaging. We want to try and do like full county coverage, even though there may not be unhoused individuals in that portion of the county. We won't know it unless we go and try to survey it, right? Because that's kind of the chicken or the egg. Is like, is nobody there because no one's surveying, or is no one being surveyed because nobody's there? Finalize training schedule, and December is really when we start to push for the recruitment of volunteers. Late December, you guys can see this. We'll look at the few paper printed surveys if we need those. We'll continue pushing social media. Sherry also mentioned kind of pivoting the messaging to public awareness campaigns rather than just volunteer or fundraising, but like, hey, this is happening. How can you get connected and how can you support? And this is what it means to be unhoused in Pinellas. Training registrations through late December with trainings in January. And hopefully, late December, we'll finalize the incentives and have an idea of what our fundraising goals were. Early January, volunteer training. Date of timeline and contacts are finalized. So Elizabeth will be working on shoring up all of our deployment zones and all the supplies they need. And there is SOPs written out by the HLA on what a lot of that looks like. So we'll be working with her on that. Point in time marketing, again, shifting to community awareness, volunteer registration. This felt off, I think, last year, but kind of what are the other ways to connect? That was done for the past few years, but I don't think it happened this past year. So that's up to this committee or the HLA if you guys want to continue to do that. But volunteer schedules complete, sharing those with the volunteers, supply batching, and we'll end on the proposed point in time date. So what I said, historically, it was that last Thursday in January. It's supposed to be the last 10 days in January. And so as long as I've known, I feel like it's been on a Thursday. So that there's a lot of like meal distribution sites. It just seems to work well before the weekend. It also works better. We want it to be at the end of the month or before the benefits come in, things like that. So if there's any question or discussion on the proposed date or objections, is there any, like, are meals not on Thursday anywhere in your community or where you're going or serving?
What did you just ask them?
I'm
so sorry.
Are there meals not happening?
I
Like,
took medicine and I'm like, not here. I'm so sorry.
if there was any, have the meal sites changed? All right. Is everyone good with us making, is anyone able to make a motion for us to?
Move. We make the proposed date the for real date.
I like that. Thank you, Sarah.
I second.
And April seconds. Thank you.
All right.
All right, and then, wrap up. So, look at my last thing's wrong. So March will be our final meeting where we'll wrap everything up, hopefully get like a high level overview of how the day went. I really want to get feedback on like what worked and what didn't work so that we can evolve and change with the next season. And that will be at the beginning of March, based on what we just approved.
Are there any big comments from last year that we can review maybe next meeting?
That'd be great, yeah.
Like if there was any wrap-up comments?
That was done at the last meeting, but we can certainly look at them again at the last point in time planning committee of last year.
That's what I was saying, just as a refresher, like some of like if there's a couple key comments that we need to remember to follow through with this, you know?
So to keep in mind.
Yeah, or just even sharing them out, so when we have discussions, we can think about it, maybe that's the easiest.
There wasn't a lot of feedback received, to be honest. I think part of it is it took a little while to get it out. So tightening up the feedback survey or asking people as they're leaving deployment to, hey, can you scan that QR code or can you take this quick survey for us so we can improve?
I think overwhelmingly a lot of the feedback was about the incentives. That was most of the feedback was that the volunteers communicated that the incentives were not the best choice, particularly in North County. That's my understanding.
Are there not a lot of Winn-Dixies in North County?
Apparently not. Apparently the one that was near had closed recently.
Clearwater, the last one in Clearwater closed.
Yeah, I think Aldi bought that out, so there are no Winn-Dixies in.
And honestly, don't nobody really go to Winn-Dixie and St. Pete either.
Well, yeah, so we did
Downtown,
downtown,
they did
and
really-
there's two Winn-Dixies in St. Pete, and they're here and here, and downtown is here, so it wasn't too
Nobody
wide.
really had.
Could we have like an option? Like, so there's already a bunch of Winn-Dixie ones.
There are,
last
so we're
year.
definitely going to utilize
Reuse
those.
And then
of
bus
course.
passes, and are we anti-Publix gang? What's
Well,
is
it's
there an
what
issue with
they
Publix?
get as far as gifts and incentives and stuff.
Gotcha.
So if you want to be on that committee though, then you can.
You got a friend at Publix.
You're welcome. I think you really on that committee.
Yeah, and like that could potentially be part of marketing. One thing we tried to do last year, we got a little bit of it from Dream Center and Colette's online. But like she had a personal connection at Chick-fil-A and got like Chick-fil-A meal cards.
Oh, cool.
Which I goes a lot further, but then there's still Chick-fil-A's are a little scattered too, so.
Yeah.
But I think there was the Pinellas Park or, Chick-fil-A. But
I mean,
also a
do we still
meal
have a
versus
hotspot map?
$5, sorry?
Do we still have like a hotspot map of where the majority of the stuff was found? We can try and
Yes.
figure out whether there's a
What's
location
in that area?
they would
Yes.
frequent to try and figure out where we can get stuff from.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is that, do you still have that, or?
Yes,
are
yeah,
you gonna
they
put
still
that
have
out?
that. It's still out, well, they'll be updating the new one.
Okay.
And it
Which
pretty
looks
much
almost
mirrors-
exactly the same as
Yeah.
So we keep some surveying.
I was in patrol I got put in patrol for a year and a half, so I'm just kind of like
Yeah.
coming back to this. I just didn't know if you guys were still doing
Yes, and we're hoping that, that heat map, there were some ideas recommended last year, actually from Aero, basically using EMS grid, like overlap, and so being able to grid out the county in a different way, rather than zip codes or intersections, but that still may be confusing, so we're still trying to navigate that and see if that's a better option to give us like full county coverage.
that. That should already be programmed in ArcGIS.
Yes, it is, it was another layer that they added last year, because our GIS person's from the county,
Okay.
so, yep.
When, I was gonna ask too, so would maybe Aldi's honor, if they're buying Winn-Dixie, would they honor?
When we looked it up last year, the answer was no. We
Yeah.
did double check, but
And those were obtained, what, 2-3 years ago? They gave a slight discount, and it was the most convenient ordering. Like, I remember specifically Walmart was you could only order 10 at a time.
yeah, so that also
When you
made
need
it.
$10,000 worth of incentives, $10, 10 at a time.
Yeah.
cumbersome.
And just to get it on record, we do have Vicky in the chat saying that almost everyone I spoke to last time wanted PTSA passes, so the bus passes. And then even though they were homeless, they were frustrated that it was such a small amount, and the feedback was it was not worth the effort of getting to a Winn-Dixie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky.
And I'll tell you, I participated in Hillsborough's last year. Sarah's on their point in time committee and also works out of Hillsborough, so thanks for being part of ours. And they honestly just gave out bags of chips and little snacks, but I felt
we do socks, rain slickers, or ponchos, bug bands has also been, listen,
So like
little old
kids.
lady in this body, leave me alone. And bug bands is always really popular, but yeah, it's every year, it's a lot of like, where can we make a friend who's willing to give us the things over there? So there's a lot less, there's no fundraising when it comes to Pitt over there. It's a lot of just whatever THHI, who is HLA's
Counterpart.
thank you. I'm still sleeping. Yes, for the COC in Hillsborough. And so it's a lot of what they supply, like from their own personal things, and then whatever partners have supplied. But it turns out to be that socks, ponchos, and bug bands are typically our most popular choice from people who are going to. So they've never done any kind of like gift card or that sort of incentives. Like that's not a thing over there. Same with Pasco County. That theirs is a lot of the same kind of like tangible items, I guess, versus like,
Is it a packet of all three or one, like they pick one?
Depends each year. If we have enough kind of a thing, then we can create sort of like, like a homeless bag of goodies, as it were. But a lot of times it's just a choice of, hey, I have this literal drawstring backpack full of all of the things I just mentioned, and you can choose one or two. Yeah. It kind of just depends on what supply we have and the different areas. And Hillsborough is a
different
map.
areas. I was a more, what am I looking for? Suburban area.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of unhoused, so it was like a cinch sack of chips is what I was getting.
Yeah.
And I had 2 people in like 3 hours, so.
Yep.
A lot of driving.
Yeah, Hillsborough County is gigantic, and like there's a lot of hotspot versus like across, because there's a lot of suburbia over there, so.
Hey, Dominique, I just was wondering, what's the pushback from TSTA on giving bus passes? It doesn't cost them anything really, right? I mean, it's not, well, I mean, it's not many rides, it's a ride. They're gonna be running a route anyway. So what's the problem with giving bus passes from TSTA? Is there a pushback?
No, I'm aware of. Yeah, we purchased them though, I think at a discounted rate.
Yes, there's a small discount.
But I don't know.
I think we have stopped the bus passes for a second because we have the disadvantaged bus pass application. So that's what we were trying to lean more towards of them doing that. And so that's why we had decided on the gift card things. But clearly it sounds like bus pass. Come back.
The cost of the Flamingo card, the new Flamingo card, was much more higher than the little paper card they used to print out.
That's also true.
Those processes
An added
to make those
cost to
cards,
it.
and the added cost was probably, they didn't have an issue with giving them out. They were just trying to see if another program's gonna work better.
But the TV is only like $11 for
Yeah.
the month.
Or St. Pete is
For St.
free.
Pete is free.
So we're like, and veterans are free. So
Yeah.
more than half of those being surveyed probably have it already for free. So that was kind of the motivation of let's switch it up.
Yeah.
And the feedback was, no, we gotta have a bus pass.
For like a hot minute, like the first year,
It worked.
it was cool. Yeah, everyone's like, okay, period. And then it all shut down or it got bought out. So now, and they're so far away and so few and far between now that it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I feel like every year things change at a rapid rate. So then all of a sudden, what we thought worked is like, just kidding. Good luck. Yeah.
I think we also have an issue where the bus passes that we had before expired.
Yes, and so we have to
So now the
retrieve
bus
them.
passes that we have to be exchanged.
That
We
can be
can even get
changed,
them
correct.
So we've been working with Move, what's it called?
Move safe and all.
And then for giving out transients bags and stuff. So that's something tangible we can do. It's like a yellow bag, there's reflective items in there and bike lights and stuff.
Yeah, they're like those, they're pedestrian safety bags, yeah, they're like that. But it has a hat, lights, and
We can bring one next time.
Yeah, I have those.
Okay.
So I know the municipalities cannot specifically ask for those. and the county can only distribute them in unincorporated, but I might be able to, you might be able to give them to agencies and they distribute it in unincorporated.
Do we know what the cost is though? Like if we could get a grant to cover X amount of those bags?
They use grants to buy those bags. So I know the city tried to engage on getting those bags. I don't know if you guys were given any of the resources on how to apply or anything yet. But
Well, the DOT is big on hanging them out, just with all the construction in Pinellas County. The DOT is backing it now, so that's, the state's paying for part of it already. So we get with the guy and see how many they can offer us. It may not be, you know, it may only be a couple hundred bags, but.
It's better than zero. Area. Yeah, that's good.
that's a good idea.
Because we've had multiple, this year so far, we've had multiple people on bikes at night, especially at 490, which we get struck by vehicles. It's becoming a greater issue.
We had like last year we had like 8 Safe Harbor residents die on 49th Street getting hit by cars. That's all.
And that's what it's all about.
That's kind of like the average.
But if we can incorporate that and get a kind of a thing we hand out that they want, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. I'll ask John. I'll reach out to him and ask him what he can.
Even if we can't get the whole thing for Boodle, but if we can either get a bunch of bike lights donated or the vest or something, even if it's.
Yeah, I would definitely say the baseball caps and the cinch sacks. The lights get, I know, are pretty costly, so he's a little tighter with those, but I'll ask. And depending on the time of year, I don't remember if their contract's October or December. It might be tighter in January too. I'll ask him. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna get them throughout the year. We usually get them every month.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have plenty on hand at some point.
We do a monthly pedestrian safety thing out on Safe Harbor at night from like 6 till 10. 6 p.m. till 10 p.m.
Yeah. Good recommendation. Thanks, you guys. All right, and then we'll wrap up. This is mostly the puppeteer in the back, HLA, and Tony, we talked about cleaning up the data, getting the report out. In the past, the reports come through in July. It did get pushed back this year, I think with some of the NOFO and other things happening, so hopefully they'll be back in the summer next year. And so that's an idea, like I said, a really high-level overview of what's kind of going on. Next, we will move into membership. And so Sherry did mention the charter, but this, the HLA, and actually this is your section.
Yes, you have those members that we could pull up and just make sure that we have a solidified list of the current members and then any future inquiring members.
Yeah, I will have to stop this slide. Give me a second.
While she pulls that up, what I will say is we were required to make this like a formal committee last year. And it does require a membership for the sake of voting. However, I want more people involved in the committee as well as the subcommittees, but the members are those who can commit to coming to the meetings because of the voting. So if you know you're not going to be able to be here consistently, I think it's only 51% as part of the charter, but I still want attendees or participants, whatever we want to call them. It's still an active committee where everyone is able to engage, but only the members are able to do the vote.
And virtual counts.
And virtual counts, yes, for this meeting as well.
Just in case anybody's virtual right now and is like, oh, that's not me, I can't make that drive.
Perfect, so here's our current membership. So we have 13 members, so the quorum would be 7. And so these would be the members that, like Dominique said, are able to vote and make motions and second.
And is David online from Public Defenders? And Dama, I think Dama will be participating. I don't know if she's online though.
I don't think she might not be online, but she is going to participate. Okay. And then we also have.
Chuck, are you still able to commit this year? At this time?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm gonna be as involved as I'm able, but yeah.
I'm glad to have you here. So we're gonna,
Make sure to take.
roll off Chuck. If we could confirm with David if he's still interested. And then, I don't know, same thing with Gary. And is there anyone else online or? Oh, someone needs it.
Someone is, can you just speak up? Let me see.
Or if anyone else in the room.
Yep,
is
we have,
interested.
yeah.
There's Dama.
All right,
Thanks, Dama.
excellent.
Is there anyone else in the room that wants to commit to being part of the membership for the sake of voting? But again, we still want you here.
Either way.
I do have a hand up. Blossom, I see a hand up. Do you have a question?
Yes, I can be a part of the membership again.
You're on there, but thank you for the reminder. And everyone, feel free to put it in the chat as well, because I'm monitoring that if for some reason we weren't able to hear you.
Well, Helen asked the question if we knew if there was a limit on how many members we could have.
That's a great question. We have the question of, is there a limit on numbers? Sherry?
That is in the charter. Let me see.
And I'm pulling up the charter as well, so I can answer.
Well, it's interesting. I thought it was.
I see,
So this was confirmed last year and was shared every meeting since December. Because there was confusion at our wrap-up meeting as well.
I don't see a
over
limit
who
on
were members and
numbers.
who were not. So if we need to shore it up,
So-
please.
no,
Sorry.
the only thing there, I don't see a maximum number of members. However, you have the 3 officers, and then you have, to become a voting member, you attend at least 1 meeting, have submitted or renewed be a COC member, basically. And be elected to an officer position or serve as a lead or serve on a subcommittee. All other participants are guests. So you'd be serving in some sort of leadership or subcommittee capacity. That's.
And if you want to be the chair or vice chair or secretary, you always also have to be a member.
You ain't going nowhere.
Come on.
Okay.
Can you take for mine, up there, I'm the first one, Kathleen Beckham, can you take organization off and
Yeah.
just put community member?
Sure.
Question for you. Are the chair, vice chair, and secretary still wanting to remain those positions?
I think we're open, but that is next.
It is on the agenda.
We
Not
have-
ready. We're excited for you. I'm so sorry. Okay. I did it backwards. That's my bad.
We'll need to lay out the facts.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's member agency or individual member. I don't know, you think that?
Apparently. I'm okay with that non-commitment.
Okay. All right. I may call a couple more of you guys, no. Okay, so we'll go ahead. I think the charter will be emailed out just as an FYI before the next meeting. It is made by a consensus vote, like we said, at least 51% of those, that committee are the ones voting. We can send that through.
All right. Did that. And if anybody has any other questions, feel free to email me as well. My email is in the slides, but I'll also put it in the chat. And for those of you here, it's just mcodo@hlapinellas.org.
Thank you. Oh, and I mentioned this already, but even though you're not members, we still need participants in the committees, subcommittees, and all of our just kind of networking. It's just the formality of it. And I'm not a formal person, so here we are. All right. All right. Now, we are here. Committee leadership. So I have been the chair. Era's been a previous chair. Were you a chair as well?
I think we did co-chairs.
Co-chair, so we have a few people in the room that have been, but we were asked to bring this back up. Is there anyone interested?
Nominate Dominique to be chair.
Anyone else interested? I anticipated this.
You know, job.
I didn't
Just for that. I set the bar so high.
Wait, you're not allowed to nominate.
What? Oh, because I'm not a member. Shawnee's, come on.
Do you want to be a member?
I was gonna say we did.
Sure, I don't know how that happened. We talked about it last year too.
So you do you want to be a member?
Yeah, I thought I was, and I thought we cleaned it up last year. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Okay, so we need to add Helen as a member.
Okay.
She is a member agency.
That's part of your duties of nomination.
Right. Do we need to do anything to?
I second the nomination. Oh, different member, but if we're voting on it, if we're keeping or changing.
Since, there's been a couple people there. Moving
So we do need to vote, sorry, this is, I told you not formal. Do we need to vote on the committee, the roll-off of Chuck and the adding of Helen? To now vote for the leadership?
Let's do this. Yeah, let's do that.
Because if they're not in, then they
Then she
can't
can't make
participate,
that.
right?
And then we'll.
Make a motion to add Helen to the pick committee. Is that- Yeah. And accept.
Actually, no, I'm not.
I don't know. Do I have to do that part?
I don't know, do we have to do that part too? We have to accept resignations?
I don't
Yeah.
think, I thought it was just for new, but okay.
It's small committee.
Robert's rule, I have no expert in.
It's small committee, it's just.
Okay, Renee's
Do I
only.
have to?
No, Renee's only.
Okay.
Sherry, do we have any?
Yes, I make a motion to accept Helen.
I
Something in
second
the air today.
Arrow.
Arrow and Sarah. Yeah.
Okay, and that was to add Helen.
Yeah.
You're back on. Come on.
I'm good. I'm good.
Come back to the
And that,
literally,
I would nominate Dominique for chair.
We can do that.
Back to that. Aaron, you're seconded.
As long as I have good subcommittees, willing to champion their teams, I'm good.
Okay, so we had Dominique nominated for chair. Who started the motion?
Helen.
Helen, and
Arrow
Arrow second? Okay. Excellent.
Vice chair.
You got it. All in favor.
Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed, please? I will be chair. Which means I can continue leading the meeting, yay. So now we're gonna move to vice chair. We've also had a few vice chairs in this room, including Arrow, myself, April, maybe Helen with the co-chair before that. Anyone interested in being a vice chair for this committee?
About the Sarah at the end. I know you're looking down on the.
Listen.
No, I said I'm committees. That's what I usually do.
She said she could.
Sarah's
Secretary over here.
There's interested
Also,
in
yeah.
vice chair or secretary.
What you want, sister?
Whichever one no one else wants.
Sarah.
But you also,
Can we-
secretary
but
is
we-
recommended, Mimi sort of acts as the secretary.
Also, real question though, because we're from the same agency, can we both sit on the board together? That's a rule for another county we're in that we cannot, so that's why I'm asking if that's part of this charter or not.
I can
It's
check the
usually
charter.
Yeah.
I
Sherry?
can, so it's only for the COC board that you cannot have
Okay.
two people from the same agency. As far as the committee goes, I don't even, it's not laid out in the charter, so I think you're good.
Okay,
Just
I just want to
wanna
check
put
if
it
it is in one of our other COCs, so, okay. Remind me of the responsibilities of each of these roles one more time.
Helping the subcommittees
Fair.
really is around making sure that they're, TV was started working on kind of a desk guide for all the subcommittees, so we're trying to shore those up in the next month. But it will kind of give a better timeline of the dominoes, basically, of what's needed, and get a better timeline to make sure we're staying on top of that.
Okay, and what about the secretary role?
Secretary is really supporting the agenda creation and minute review with
Love it.
Secretary is better for long distance. For your people over on the
That's fair. Also, we'd love to see you in some new leadership roles, Clara. That works for me.
I know.
Everyone who doesn't know in the room.
You know, supervisor.
She's elected.
I think vice chair over here.
Yeah, I like that idea. So I'm gonna decline the nomination for vice chair.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna turn around and nominate Clara Goen for vice chair.
So we have Clara as a nomination for vice chair. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
I second.
I can't start the motion. but-
She
I
started.
said, yeah, I didn't look and
Sorry,
April
Sarah has
second.
started the other motion and April has seconded.
All right. Sarah, vice chair.
Cool beans. Any, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. All right, secretary? Were you
Are we
volunteering
nominating
yourself as
Sarah?
secretary, Sarah?
I nominate Sarah for secretary. And she's second.
Okay.
Clara. Is there anything online happening that we're missing? I just want to make sure.
Also,
Nothing,
yeah, that, we do have other friends in the room.
Yeah,
nothing in the chat. Just quickly, does anybody have any concerns, anything, questions?
Secretary, yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'm seeing nothing.
All right, so remind me again, I'm sorry, motion from
April.
Clara, April, seconded by Clara
Yes.
for Sarah to be secretary. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, cool beans. All right, thank you for making that go so smoothly. We're gonna go over subcommittees, and so like I said, TV started work, and Elizabeth is gonna hopefully drive it home with us, the subcommittees. These subcommittees are outlined in the charter, but what they do is flexible. So we have the deployment subcommittee, and actually, I'll go through the slides because I have all the information on the subcommittees. Sorry, these are the subcommittees we have, including two, I marked them as special populations, but our youth and then our law enforcement, first responders. But the first one is deployment. I'm sorry.
Back.
There it is.
Okay, there we go. Deployment.
Deployment will be, it was previously led by Dana and Arrow, but my understanding is, and I think actually Helen, you were involved in leadership in that one as well, but is a very, requires someone who can pull all the data together in an Excel spreadsheet of all the zones and all the spots, working with all the outreach teams to ensure hot spots, identifying new trending hot spots. If there's meal-specific Thursday sites, like it's not their sole job, but working with everyone to gather that information across the entire county. We also talked about maybe looking at some of those EMS grids and what that looks like. There is already a template, a spreadsheet. You guys have seen it year after year, but what does that continue to look like and evolve into? We've layered again maps to give better visuals and things like that. Identifying if there's any special populations like unaccompanied youth or non-English speaking, so that like, it's Clearwater, we're sending Spanish speakers to that portion of Clearwater, or I don't think we have Vietnamese, but if we had Vietnamese, to, Leelman, like those populations. Identifying the number of volunteers required for each zone as well. So, obviously downtown St. Pete would need more people than Seminole. But Seminole might drive around more. So kind of identifying that in a grid across the entire county. They do meet, I would say, maybe 4 to 8 times, maybe. I think they meet weekly essentially, November, December, to try and shore up those deployment zones. And so my hope is that all of you guys will get involved in at least one subcommittee, so we're just going to go through those one by one. Next is marketing. So there is a marketing packet with email samples, graphics. They have access to Canva, I believe, to be able to update those, or a complete rebrand, relaunch, whatever your heart desires for the subcommittee. But it's not only volunteer recruitment, it's fundraising, it's also social community awareness, social media, images and graphics for all of those sort of things. So if that's your area, or like last year, Clara had like a good friend who was in that area. So again, your network of people that may be interested. I understand a lot of you already work for social service entities that can that have fundraising priorities there too. So this would be putting those materials together and giving them to the CoC and HLA to really help with our recruitment and awareness and fundraising. I think I would say probably 3 to 5 times meeting and obviously some homework depending on your Canvas skills. I just be aware of any AI graphics, AI graphics are easy, but they also are not always great. So just be aware of that. Survey Development Subcommittee, this one will meet, I'd say 3 to 5 times and is going to review the survey, review the survey data, if there's any snags or hangups, if HUD is changing anything, like last year they changed, 2 years ago, last year, the gender sex question. And so there was no additional questions last year, but there could be this year.
We don't anticipate any changes this year. They didn't have any data standard changes at this time. However, they've told us to wait because there's always a possibility that they may make a change. But the fact that they haven't sent it to the software developer or software providers for HMAS systems, the chances of them making changes at this time are probably
And then also,
fingers crossed we won't have any changes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Dapo is on, but he is our the BTS with the county. He has created the portal and the app and the survey in the platform. He's agreed to continue helping in the same capacity that he has in the past. So he will be responsible for doing all of that, beta testing with us in December. And again, I mentioned the survey translation. So this person is kind of facilitating all of those people. This person does not need to know GIS and web and app development and all of that. They just need to be willing to participate in that. All right. Training subcommittee. This one has had a lot of transition over the past few years. And I think it was, who was that? Blossom and April. Thank you. Blossom and April championed it this past year. And it really gets heavy in December, January is when the majority of that work is. So if you're taking a 3-week vacation around Christmas, probably not, not on this committee. But updating those materials, we've started implementing a video that's been really helpful. So working on getting a new video out and getting some of that information out. I will throw out there, I loved it. Tampa does, Hillsborough does, it's all recorded, so people can do it on their own with questions and answers.
Yeah, there's quizzes.
Yeah.
In between.
Through their learning management system. And so is that an option? I don't know. But what we've done historically is some in-person and mostly virtual trainings for that, and that would all be scheduled for January. And then our kind of special populations or youth outreach. This one has evolved. Last year we had honestly some incredible leadership on it who really gave it a refresh. In the past it had kind of died down. It was just more of an awareness campaign. Last year you guys brought back the targeted events. How were they? Were kind of hit or miss, or how was the event?
The events were great.
Great.
The cold shelters were a blessing, but a curse to our events because our clients showed up to get the pizza and stuff, but they said, "Oh, we already did that." Like, right. So, I mean, that's a good problem to have. So our events, they weren't as productive as we had hoped, but the reality was it was because our clients were already being caught before they got there. So. Not knowing if you'd have a cold shelter again the night before, I would still recommend pushing forward.
Okay. And I'll say that was completely championed by Chuck, and we're hopeful that you can maybe identify someone else, or if anyone else is interested in that, but brought some really different partners that are in more the unaccompanied youth, aging out population in that area that aren't participating in this bigger meeting. So at least getting your list and making sure that we're able to connect with them.
Yeah, and I'm happy to support whoever's in that role. I can't commit at this time for personal reasons. So.
And then Yeah, or not PSTA, Pinellas County Schools, like, even gave us areas that more frequented by heat team, like where the pickup points are, hotels that were more, that had more pickups and things like that, that we're able to incorporate into our deployment and things like that.
We had the heat team help on Pitt.
But they helped in that subcommittee, but I don't know if they did that day.
Do we still have someone from Family Resources?
Who was it that just left? Was she the one that was on it?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Who from Family Resources was on yours, do you remember? No, I'm trying to spell.
I don't remember.
No, we can reach out to Family Resources.
Taylor?
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor and
Yeah.
Gary, that's probably who it was.
Yeah, it was Taylor.
Taylor.
That's right.
They're normally really good at putting their events together more south, so.
Yeah, and that's what they did last year, is they had the 2 site locations like you guys did years ago. Okay. And then the other kind of special population, this is more a recruitment effort, to be honest, and a social awareness campaign, is the first responders. And so I will just throw this out here, I don't know if he's online, but Copeland said that he was willing to concede to be replaced, but also willing to do it, so begrudgingly. He will help coordinate this team unless another officer is interested, but it is just a few emails to make sure all municipalities are aware, trying to get full participation. I think we were missing like Treasure Island and Gulfport, I think was supposed to come and didn't come, so making sure we have full coverage. And some officers participating in the survey, but also letting everybody know that it's happening. So the sheriff's office actually does a pretty good job sending it out to all the chiefs, but then again, the officers also being aware of it.
How many municipalities are there for?
Law enforcement is at 13?
At least 12.
12.
They're like, that's a great question.
There's 24 municipalities, yeah, and
There's 12 different
12.
agencies.
Okay, including the county, the full county, like you guys.
The sheriff's office
and then
being
all.
the biggest, and then it trickles out from there.
Okay.
Going from Gulfport all the way to the south, St. City, St. Pete, all the way up to Tarpon Springs, having a private police.
yeah, I mean, even Kansas City.
I kind of forget about all the private, that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, there are some.
3 or whatever.
Right.
Like quadruple the status.
And Dominique, this year, since we expanded our hurricane deployment team this year to a lot larger unit. So depending on the situation, hurricane-wise, during the middle of this, if we get deployed for any certain distance of time, that's why we're trying to figure out what we're gonna be able to help with.
No. Don't you speak that into fruition? There won't
I
be
ain't
any
trying
this
to,
year.
I ain't trying to be gone for.
They're
3
gone.
years.
Yeah. Which
We're
I'll
still
probably be
trying
gone
to
for this
recover.
year.
I made it through.
I started
24, we
to-
still did.
Right. And so, yeah, pulling together those officers, making sure we have involvement. And I would love some sort of getting other first responders, like fire, EMT, involved, but I don't, we've struggled to do that. Honestly, I was telling him earlier, right before the hurricane, we were making some headway, and then the hurricane, came in and disrupted operations.
Actually, Battalion Chief for Largo is pretty keen on this stuff, so I'll talk to him. See what he wants to do.
Thank you. All right. So, group discussion. Is there anyone that is like willing to recommit or express an interest in leading any of these subcommittees? I love it. So Claire is interested. We don't need a motion on any of these subcommittees. These aren't formal. We're not needing notes on them. This is my understanding from previously. So there's no need cadence requirement or anything like that.
That's for deployment. I don't know about leading it, but I do.
Okay.
I can do the survey, don't
Okay, thank you. Lead the
I was
survey?
gonna say I'm interested in that one as well.
We'll put you on the spot. Are you bilingual, am I assuming?
My Spanish is good. I don't feel always that I can say fluent, but I do speak Spanish. So.
I got what's for translating, so Lucera for translation.
Okay, so everybody who's interested in the survey, Lucera translating, and then Kathleen, part of the survey team.
And I think Jacob as well.
Too.
I think Jacob as well.
I can translate.
Jacob Harris.
Thank you.
I think one of the things, and this maybe I'm assuming this, right, but like a flip-flop is like 50 different words depending on the country, right? So like, is someone who's homeless or unhoused, or, you know, whatever the politically correct term that we want to use, is that universal? I think that was one of the things, is that they made unhoused like too wordy to try and be like more sympathetic and like more understanding when they're like, what?
They just messed it up.
That was one of the feedbacks that I know I got, and then that it was just too formal.
I'll be on deployment. I did want to bring up though too, now with our new city hall move, I don't think I can host at the new city hall just with alarm systems and early morning shift. So I don't know if there's another mid-county place that is willing to open at 5 a.m. I can be there if I have to help, but I don't know, anything maybe at ICOT too for good access point on all the different places. I don't know if JWB would allow, but there's, what else is up here? There's JWB First Contact.
What about like Shiloh Missionary Baptist, Shiloh Church right there on Omerton? Would they open it up? I mean, they're huge in there, and it's easy access.
Yeah, that's one thing we look for is like making sure they can get out easily, like if there's like
It's mid-county.
It's on Omerton.
It's like mid-county, you know, for Omerton, for Shiloh.
Is that the one by the sheriff's headquarters?
Yeah.
The white one? Big truck?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else interested in committing to any leadership roles on subcommittees? I will tell you, this is what our goal is for this, like to come back in September and have subcommittees formed. So if you're able to participate in a subcommittee, if you are have already agreed to one and you want to recruit a friend, there's going to be a survey sent out to see an interest survey. You guys should already have a template somewhere too from last year, to get feedback on what subcommittee you're willing to participate in and help with, because we really do. Honestly, it's the subcommittees, in my opinion, that really get the ball rolling for this. And then in this meeting, you would just do rollouts on how the committee is progressing and if there's any feedback needed. Are there any, sorry.
If there's nobody willing to do the deployment, I'll do it.
Dave, I think you at least have April volunteer to participate, Arrow, team effort for sure.
You have a team. Alex, we have Suzanne in the chat as well.
Sorry?
Interested. Suzanne in the chat as well that is interested in marketing.
Perfect. Thank you, Suzanne. Adding you to my list.
And I think I'm always in survey development. So.
It's part of that recruitment.
Is that the only one? That's the only one you need though, right? For me, is survey development, you don't need to be, okay. Just make sure.
So our vision kind of for this coming year, this is just kind of building off the numbers we've had from before, is hoping to get at least 400 registered volunteers. There is always a little friendly competition. City of St. Pete won the last 2 years. Getting your organization, social network, whatever, registered. For that, we're hoping that will start in November essentially, but getting volunteers recruited. And then there's always some that don't follow through and don't do trainings and get sick the day of. Is getting over 300 hopefully deployed. I think we had about 350, give or take, that actually deployed this past time, or assigned shifts, I should say. Are there any partners that we're missing? We talked about making sure Taylor with Family Resources. So maybe we talked about the school board team participating in point in time.
Do you have the Dream Center attend any of these meetings?
Yeah, so is Colette on? So Colette is part of the
She's just online.
Yeah, she's normally virtual.
And we used to have a big chunk of volunteers from America, but I don't remember if they're still helping with them.
Dominique, I think we should be intentional in asking elected officials personal invites for them to participate and take a shift. Yeah, the COC board too, and HLA board.
They are always extended that invite.
Yeah.
But,
We just don't have.
yeah, strongly encouraged. And I know, I'll say this too, Thursday's always an issue because the city council for City of St. Pete. But I know you guys try to work with it.
Well, we do, and we've talked before about looking at the date, because Thursday is always going to be an issue. That is just city council day. 1, 2, 3. Last year, I think
can't make one exception for one time a year?
One shift, a total shift.
I'm sorry?
Is it not I don't mean to be a jackass, but like, is it not a thing that city council can, I don't know, change their schedule once a year?
No, they're not going to change them. Council date is on Thursday.
Right.
It's committee meetings, it's council, yeah, that's not going to change.
Is every person or member of, I don't know how it works, I'm gonna be real honest, all of these people who have to be at these meetings for like the whole day, is it like a whole day thing, like I am there from 9 to 5 or whatever it is, for every member?
For every city council member.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the city council.
I'm genuine, I don't know
No,
anything
no,
about it, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, and depending on the agenda item, like ours are Tuesdays, our commissioner meetings, depending on the agenda item, you have to be available, but that agenda item can move up 3 hours depending on how quickly you move the agenda and things like that. But they could be there till midnight.
So it's not, so in that respect, what I'm saying is it's not just city council members. Like, I had to leave last year because we had committee of the whole, and so I had to be there for that. That's discussing the budget and stuff. So all of our administration could possibly have to be in the room as well. So it takes away from our city employees who have the ability to participate, because you never know what time you're gonna have to be there.
They just pop in and are like, hey friend, let's go.
Well, there is on the agenda.
That's what I'm genuinely asking, because she said it can move and it can do, so.
Yeah,
like,
you have
just
an
didn't know
agenda,
time.
so that could be, you could be there all day.
But you could have no questions and it moves up the agenda, or you could go into a side quest and that gets pushed back.
That sounds like nothing I ever want to be a part of. All right. I like a schedule, that's all. So Helen, I mean, we already voted on it, but.
I mean, Thursday is the day, it's what it is.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be, which is why I'm bringing it up again. Is that something that is going?
Could we do a Wednesday?
Would it make enough of a difference to make that change?
Yeah.
Was my thought.
Does other municipalities have the same issue as well?
Ours is Tuesdays, but it's actually, if it's the 4th, you don't have meetings on the 4th Tuesday.
Do we know if we did change it to Wednesday, would that be to more of the municipalities?
I don't know how many wheel sites are on a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, because that's the other thing.
There's a lot of
Thursdays
big
are
communities are
that's right.
meeting, so that might impact volunteers as well. As well as the site operating.
We're one municipality and out of many, and we still get a good number of volunteers, so.
Okay.
Get help beforehand. Yeah, we will do it.
And they still get the most, so.
I didn't say it that way.
Yeah.
We'll get a good number.
It's easy. So, any other partner recommendations?
If no one says for the youth, I'll switch to right now. If we don't get anybody within the next week or so.
If you switch to that one,
I'll
get
do.
something stuff. Yeah.
My thought honestly too was to bring the deployment list to one of the outreach meetings.
Yeah, if April's on deployment, then I probably would have done something else, but if she's going to switch to you, then I'll be on
We don't get
deployment.
anyone out.
Yeah.
And Chuck, do you know if Nate's able to help again, or?
I'm sure you will.
Okay.
And I can email Nate, yeah.
And we'll make sure Taylor involved.
Yeah, I can contact her.
Cool.
And then I think, was there one more in the chat too, Mimi?
Blossom said, if there's no note takers for training, that she would be interested in doing that again April, would you like to co-chair?
We did do really good.
You guys did a great job last year.
And
You
that's
did.
awesome.
If we don't get anyone for youth, I'll do the youth. But if not, then I can be on honestly any committee. What we do.
But Blossom is interested in training. Perfect.
Yes.
Is she only interested if she has a friend? Or is she okay with chairing? Without a co-chair?
That's a good question for Blossom.
Did she hear me? Or can she?
Can she? Yeah, she's online. You can drop it in the chat, Blossom, if you heard it. Yeah.
There she is.
I prefer a friend. It was a heavy lift, but
That's fair.
I'll do it.
No, that's totally, it's a heavy lift. That's why I was asking. I just want to clarify. It's a lot. It's good with a good team. I mean, it went really, we did a lot of good work last year, but it's a lot.
Great. Okay, so we got that down. Awesome.
Do we want to try, like, I wonder if municipality, if they could try with the libraries again. Because whole night shelter was to a certain time, people had to leave by a certain time. Libraries for us anyway, open at 10. People are going to go directly there, so, because that's the first place that will open. If they didn't go the full night. So I wonder if each one of us could just speak to our library staff in general and say, hey, could we do a specific training for library staff who might be comfortable administering the survey?
We have library staff participate, but they feel uncomfortable doing it to the residents that come every day because they want to give them the privacy too. So they usually ask to be located in a different area, but they participate.
See, and that's interesting, because I had a conversation, Pinellas Park was like, yeah, we want to do it on our site.
Okay, so maybe we just have to.
Yeah, so, but it didn't end up coming to full fruition of like multi-site, because some people just have different, ambulatory abilities too, so they're like, I'd rather be site-based.
Yeah.
So, your recommendation would be to reach out to your individual library.
Yeah, if we can't get it all together, the whole co-op together, then maybe just each municipality reach out to their library. And so like we would reach out to our director and say, hey, what can you figure out if your team is okay with this? Or it would tell us in deployment if we should send someone there even on the inside.
Right. Yeah, we always have to do those awareness campaigns anyways, that like, hey, we're coming on and we're coming in. So libraries, I'll try and get the cooperative, I'll make a message to them and see what they're interested in, if, yeah, we'll figure it out. Anything else? What do we got next?
I think you're wrapping up.
We did it, we kept
Yep.
our agenda.
Oh,
Great
job.
Period. No, any questions, any open table items? Hearing none, then anyone motion to adjourn? Sound like Era did? Yeah. Motion, so moved. She did, but I did it out of order, I started talking after. All right, meeting is over. Thanks you all for coming, and I really do hope you guys are really involved this year.
Thank you.
Do you like it? I have